I was not planning on making this video. I was only planning on downloading the video entitled "What Does Irishness Look Like?" so people could publicly like or dislike it, or comment on the content of the video. Why? Not only are the comments disabled, but the like and dislike ratio is not publicly visible. Of course. And there we see one of the defining characteristics of the mass migration problem. The clear disallowance of public discussion and open expression of what people really think on the issue. But lo and behold, when I tried to download that video for the sake of simply reposting it without comment, this was not possible. Now I will admit my foray into making my own video productions has so far been quite short. But in that time I have downloaded videos in the hundreds. This video was the only one my download software would not and could not download. A coincidence, surely? No. I tried a number of different applications and this video is not downloadable. Does that rub anyone else the wrong way? It certainly has given me even more to think about. It is not just that we are restricted from commenting on the video or showing approval or disapproval via the like and dislike buttons, but, and I do not even know how, this video is impervious to download so that it cannot even be reposted. I did not even know that YouTube could block certain videos from being downloaded. And if it can, why are more videos not disbarred from downloadability? I'm going to paraphrase a quote attributed to Voltaire here, but the source is not even important. It is the sentiment of the statement that if you want to know how you are ruled over, simply find out who or what you are not allowed to criticize. Well, in the age of creeping globalism enabled by mass migration and accommodated through blatant censorship, we have to consider that we might be being ruled over by globalists and mentally subjugated through psyop concepts such as racism, used with such great effect in a historical context by socialists like Leon Trotsky. Look that one up, kids. Racism as a means of conceptual warfare is not a new idea. So now, instead of just reposting the video so people are allowed to comment on it, I have to make a whole elaborate critique that will be more damning than if I were simply allowed to like, comment, or repost this quaint little propaganda piece. Allow me to preface this critique. I have no problem whatsoever with the individuals shown in this video. I understand that they are individual human beings with the capacity for great good and kindness who are capable of achieving great things. This is not about prejudice, but I, at the same time, see the new Irish as a symptom of anti-democratic, anti-nationalistic policies, which to me represent the forced progression of globalism through propaganda, censorship, and the use of identity politics against the native population of Ireland and other Western nations. That is what the ethos of this video and my stance generally is all about. So, with that caveat, and without further ado, here is the video you can find on YouTube entitled "What Does Irishness Look Like?" Oh, and try not to pay too much attention to the closed captions. I figured I'd leave them up because I was turning the audio off for most of the video, but some of it is just gibberish, so don't mind that.
I'm Irish.
I'm Irish. Is there not me?
Agus is éar nach mé freis. I'm
I'm
Irish.
Irish.
Is éar nach mé.
Is Éireannach mé freshen? I am Irish too, but let's please be a little semantically precise in our understanding of the situation, and at least try to distinguish between why we are Irish and what makes that so. Have you grown up here? Were you born here? Were you adopted and raised by Irish parents? Did you have one Irish parent? Do you identify as Irish for the sake of convenience when you are speaking to Irish people? And identify as Nigerian, Muslim, Romanian, Bangladeshi, or whatever else when you are with people whose ethnicity you share? It may be valid to call yourself Irish for some people, but not for others. Let's forget the superficial question, what does Irishness look like? And ask a deeper question, what constitutes Irishness more generally? Sure, maybe you have been here a large portion of your lives. Maybe you learned some of the native language in school and have even developed an accent, either organically or as a tool to help you fit in. But is that what makes you Irish? One of the main points made in the video I'm showing is that these people are offended or think it is somehow strange that people ask them where they are from. Newsflash, and maybe you do not know this because you have not been here long, or maybe because you were completely oblivious to Irish history, but up until 10 years or so ago, Ireland actually had an almost entirely ethnically homogeneous native population. And they were not African, or Indian, or Iranian, or Asian. They were native Irish and looked a certain way because of shared genetics, which make us unique, like it or not. The native Irish were, and still are, very different from many of the oh so many new arrivals that have been in this country the past decade or so. We do not just have shared history, we have shared genetic traits and characteristics that make us who we are. Considering these facts, if you have dark skin, frizzy hair, and African parents, maybe you should not be so appalled that natives of this country notice the reality of your difference and ask you where you are from. If this hurts your feelings, then you are overly sensitive and simply need to toughen up. You may categorize yourself as Irish, but it is not so straightforward or even intellectually honest for other people to not see that compared to every single person they grew up with, and essentially every human being they saw for the first 10, 20, 30, even 40 years of their lives, looked nothing like you. If you were genetically different from many thousands of miles away, and your family have been here only a decade or so, I regret to inform you, you are not Irish like the native Irish, whose lineage in this country goes back many hundreds of years. If you were raised by people who were born, raised, and spent most of their lives in foreign lands, you are probably, by all standards, not as Irish as a lumpen, pasty-skinned, red-bearded, native Irish person like myself, whose family have been here a very, very long time. But it goes so much deeper than just that. What does it really mean to be Irish? Up until recently, Ireland has not been a desirable destination for foreigners to relocate to. We have had a storied history of poverty and brutality. The native population suffered for many hundreds of years under imperialism. We were taken as slaves, shipped off to the four corners of the world, to North America, the Caribbean, South America, to Australia and the West Indies. We were owned, bought, and sold. This is historical fact. And not only that, the native Irish were subject to genocide by starvation due to the policies of the British Empire, as we were ground into the dirt under the boot of the likes of Oliver Cromwell. Sure, the big historical lie blames the famine on potato blight, but neglects to remember that the massive hauls of food grown on Irish land during this time were shipped to Great Britain, and the surplus thrown in the ocean while the native Irish were left to starve. Our ancestors fought and suffered endlessly, spending an untellable amount of blood, sweat, and tears to eventually gain our independence, for which they fought valiantly and tirelessly. Consider a group of people building a village. For the sake of analogy, let's say 230 people get together to make a community, which they invest in building from the ground up. They pay for the raw materials, till the land, lay the foundations of the buildings, fight off bandits, thieves, invaders, and build homes for themselves and each other brick by brick. In this time, they struggle greatly. Many die, sacrificing themselves to the greater good. But the villagers eventually prevail and achieve something meaningful, a place the tribe can call home. Now, imagine just as the tribe in the story are putting the finishing touches on their little village, a group of new arrivals show up and attempt to lay claim to the product of their labor. They help themselves to the crops, annex some of the houses, displacing the local population, and laying claim to a portion of the produce and infrastructure of those who spent time creating this. But not just that. The new arrivals are offended and express confusion at the fact that those who built the village are wondering who they are, where they come from, and why they think they have equal share to those who built the village. Leaving your homeland and moving somewhere prosperous where you can immediately benefit is not the same as residing somewhere difficult to live out of necessity and slowly making it something great over time through your own determination and the sweat of your brow. It surely is not so simple as, I live here now, so I'm the same as you and have equal or greater claim to your homeland than you whose ancestors have suffered and died, making it something remarkable. That seems to me like an incredibly twisted cultural relativist Marxist ideal that has no connection to reality, history, or reasonable appraisal of the facts of the matter at hand. To quote the Dalai Lama, Europe belongs to Europeans, as Ireland should belong to the Irish, the native Irish, not people who think they are as Irish as the natives because they have lived here for 10 or so years. Why are these people not proud of their ethnicities? Be proud of who you are. Be proud to be Chinese, to be Nigerian, to be whatever. But do not claim you're the exact same as natives on their native land. Or act as if there is something wrong with them if they do not have the same understanding of the term Irishness as you do. And certainly, very definitely, without a doubt, I would suggest you try to avoid implying that they are racist, no matter how insatiable the urge may be. Hey guys, if you like this video, please do your best to show me some support. Like, comment, share, and if you can, donate a little something to the cause. Thank you.